last week on Gleeboot, there was a funeral for Sue's sister Jean, and they sang Pure Imagination from Willy Wonka, and there was a really long, boring audition sequence. That's what you missed on Gleeboot.
I forgot about that episode, and it literally happened last week.
I know, same. It was a rough episode. This was a rough episode.
Yeah, I was just going to say, speaking of,
before the haterade starts flowing.
Wow.
I loved this episode. I think it was great. I think it was a great season finale to a great season of television.
0 out of 10.
Gleeboot.
I'm gonna give it like a random ass number, like a 4 out of 10.
That's very generous of you.
Thank you.
10 out of 10. Would recommend. Not an 11 out of 10, but a 10 out of 10.
People like to think that 11 out of 10s exist, but they don't, so that's not a real thing.
Yeah, that's an improper fraction.
Don't tell me how to live, just sit and putter. Like candy in the sun's a ball of butter.
Oh, wow.
Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade.
Amazing. So glad that we sung that.
We gotta celebrate all of the glee-ness of the Gleeverse.
Yes, because this is the finale episode of Season 2.
Yeah. Season 2 finale. Season 2 of Gleeboot. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
I am impressed that y'all have gotten this far. I'm impressed I got this far.
Same, honestly.
Yeah. Every week, I'm like, what is the week Alyssa's going to be like? I can't do this anymore.
That's really funny because I'm wondering when that week will be for me too. When I have to text you guys being like, team meeting, I don't know if I can do this.
But Hannah, what are you drinking today?
I'm drinking Riesling. I was going to do like a cocktail, but I was drinking this wine with my dinner and I got tipsy and I was like, well, I shouldn't mix right now. So I'm just going to drink this Riesling. It was from the Olive Garden, aka breadsticks of the real world. And it's been sitting in my fridge for a really long time. So yeah, I'm drinking it.
I am drinking a mango cart beer inspired by mimosas called Champango.
Oh. That sounds good.
Yeah, it does. It's pretty good. It's very sweet. I decided not to make anything this week because I didn't want to make anything this week.
That's totally valid. I'm literally being handed another drink right now from my boyfriend, aka bartender. This is an iced French vanilla decaf coffee with almond milk Baileys and Kahlua, which I will apparently be mixing. So get ready, everybody. Thank you.
Yes, I'm excited. I am also drinking double for Cullen.
I'm on pain meds, so I shouldn't be drinking, but I am drinking a Celibacy Club Quinn Fabray firework, like a virgin Quinn Fabray firework.
A Celibacy Club Fabray firework.
It's just the raspberry lemonade.
Good job.
Thank you.
I approve.
Are you still there, Hannah?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, it just went quiet for a second. Yeah, okay. All right, so did you glingo it up, Hannah?
I almost forgot. And literally 3/4 of the way through the episode, I decided to do it. I think I missed some things, but I didn't get a glingo, and I don't think I would have gotten close either.
This episode is very underwhelming and eclectic, in my opinion. And I feel like glingo doesn't work on this one.
Yeah, it's it's not even one of those where like you get everything except a glingo, like you get close to a whole board, it's really just like a couple things. Like, where is it? What did I even get? I don't even know. I have Emma appears because she's there for like literally 3 seconds at the end. Finn says something dumb. Brittany says something dumb. I don't remember if Sam said anything dumb. Blaine was there. I put the episode doesn't make sense because it just didn't to me. They definitely sang a cover that was not appropriate for teens, and we'll talk about that. They sang from a musical. They're really... I was actually kind of bummed. Like, there really wasn't a lot going on Glingo board-wise.
Because it was a fresh and creative episode.
I don't think that's what it was. I would argue that it goes against its own formula and was super boring.
I would also argue with that. It doesn't feel like a Glee episode to me.
It felt like a totally different show.
Did it feel more like Smash?
It felt so much like Smash. I died when Patti LuPone was there because I was like, so I was thinking about this.
Is that actually her?
Yeah.
Yes, that's legit Patti LuPone. So I was thinking about it in terms of pricing, how much this could have cost. The fact that they got Patti LuPone, but she didn't have to sing, I was like, okay, that's probably, a bit of a chunk of cash. But then I thought about Smash and how they got Liza Minnelli and she sang. Oh my God, I can't imagine how much that cost. That's all I have to say.
It was the cameos had similar energies.
Very similar. Like, they definitely didn't want to be there and kind of felt forced. But then also, like, it kind of felt oddly organic. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Because, like, I could see behind the curtain, like, okay, they definitely don't want to be here. But oddly, it does feel organic in this world.
Well, Patti LuPone is now a Ryan Murphy actress. She was in Hollywood.
Yes. He tends to do that. He'll invite someone on for a little bit, and then they become best friends, and they do a bunch of stuff with him. Like, Stevie Nicks was in American Horror Story for a little bit. I think she did something else with him, too. So...
Yeah.
If only I was such a... Wow. If only I was...
Yeah. If only I was the people...
I'm not even through the whole mango cart thingy-majig yet. I'm almost done with it.
But what were you going to say?
If only I was as such of a people person as Ryan Murphy.
Don't say that.
Yeah. Don't. You're better than that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I am better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I just want to jump in and quickly say I'm so excited to bitch about the music in this episode. Okay, I'm done.
Ready to go.
All right. So this episode, like Glee, changed its formula. So have we, because we're doing it chronologically. Because
are we? Oh, yeah. I feel like it's not super heavy with a bunch of plot lines. Everything kind of goes together.
Yeah, it's hard to separate it and have it make sense. So we're just going it step by step. It opens with a cover of Taylor Swift's 1989 hit, Welcome to New York.
I wish.
No, but it will in the Gleeboot.
I was going to say... I kind of wish it had, but then I remembered it hadn't existed yet.
If it did, odds are they would have somehow gotten it in there.
Yeah.
But it opens with Rhapsody in Blue, actually.
Like, not the whole thing, just the really famous part.
They show the entirety of the Fantasia 2000 sequence.
Yes.
Check it out on your indie streaming service, Disney+.
I was going to say, did we watch the same episode? Also, it felt like... So, Times Square, it felt really empty, and it gave me coronavirus vibes. I don't know if anyone else felt that.
It occurred to me that, like... It felt empty, but I was like, well, if it's just a normal work day, maybe there's not that many people at Times Square.
They probably did it at like 3 a.m. Or some...
It was in the middle of the day.
Or like 7 a.m. Like,
yeah, I would say it was probably super early in the morning.
Well, they probably had to block off at least part of it for filming.
Yeah.
So
it's just like
it's not going to be that busy.
I think because I've seen pictures of Times Square like when everything was like in really high lockdown, and like that's what the vibes it gave me. I was like, wait a second.
Well, you know, if Smash could afford to film in Times Square repeatedly, then Glee definitely could, because Glee had that iTunes money.
I was gonna say, this makes me totally reevaluate how much Smash must have cost. Like, I'm stunned. Like,
because Glee was a hit show and this was a special episode.
Yes. And like, I can imagine how much it cost to film in New York and all these things and all these special things they got to do. And then I'm thinking about Smash was constantly in New York, and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah.
Is that where they filmed primarily? Like, is their base New York, though?
Yeah.
I mean, they showed a lot of New York stuff.
Right. But was it actually based in New York?
The show?
Yeah.
I think the show was legit based in New York. They may have done some stuff in LA sets, but I honestly would not be surprised if they did a lot of it in New York. Even
that's what I'm thinking is like, well, I mean, if it was produced in New York, the majority of it, like,
I don't know.
It's still going to be expensive, but you don't have the travel costs.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But still, Times Square for a Rihanna cover? Okay, Smash. That must not have been cheap.
For a bogus Rihanna cover that didn't make any sense.
Yeah. But that's enough Smash time. That's enough smashing on
Maybe
Smash.
we'll do a mini-sode of smashing on Smash for Gleeboot.
Oh, no, does that mean I have to watch it?
No, honestly, what we'll do is we'll recap it for you, and then you can react. That'll be way more entertaining for you, I think.
Well, I'm going to be asking you the whole time, wait, what?
Yeah, and then we're going to be like, yeah, we know. We don't get it either. Anyway, Smash.
Comment if you want us to do that.
Yeah, no, let us know.
Lord.
Let us know if you want us to torture Alyssa with Smash facts. Smash facts.
Like, comment, smash that like button.
Smash that like button.
Cullen, stop. Go away.
He just exits. All right, I guess it's just me and Alyssa now. We get to
Bye.
give this episode justice.
Good luck recapping it without me.
True. I have forgotten it already. You right.
Just leave your notebook behind. I'm sure I can
Decipher
that cuneiform.
What does this say?
Welcome to New York, Rachel Finn.
Yeah.
Great. Alyssa can read. What's going on?
I have terrible handwriting, so I was seeing if she could read my notes.
Same.
So they're in New York, and Rachel's like, I made it. I'm here in my little rainbow jacket.
It was so weird that the opening was literally focused on her, and I'm like, oh, she's the protagonist? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
By now, they figured out that she's the protagonist and not William Schuster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they figured it out. I think Will is in a side character role in this episode.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. And the Glee Club is just like, we're in New York. We're so excited.
There's no adult. There's no adult. I will be mentioning this multiple times. Get ready. Get your drinks ready, folks.
Rachel comes up and is like, I got us all tickets to Broadway's longest running show, Cats.
I was triggered by that. Just thinking of the trailer for the movie.
Oh.
Have you seen Cats?
No, I will not see
God.
Cats. You know what?
Oh, I saw it. It was fabulous.
If you have a Glee podcast, you can see Cats.
You think, like, is it worth watching? Like,
Not anymore. Because you can't go see it in theaters with people ragging on it the whole time.
I mean, I will happily get drunk and rag on it in my own bedroom. It's fine.
Yes, but it was basically like going to a Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I was just going to say that, like, everyone booing and throwing tomatoes and shit, if they could.
Oh, people were it was raucous.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Well-
there was a little kid in my viewing that was like, "Is that a cat or a human?" And it was like same kid.
It's like it's both, actually.
Yeah, it was a great experience, you know, when humans could sit next to each other and be together and experience things together.
I don't even want to get into it. I had some stuff to say, and I'm gonna just keep drinking.
So, but it turns out Quinn is like, Cats has been closed for several years. And she's like, the guy did seem crazy. He ran my credit card through his butt crack.
Like, okay, Rachel, like, you're telling us that now. Like, of course. Ugh, whatever. The logic just doesn't make sense.
Yes. Why?
And I'm like, what self-respecting theater kid doesn't know every show that's open on Broadway right now?
I know, exactly. It didn't make any sense that Rachel would not know that.
And it's weird that Quinn would be like, Cats has been closed. Like, she would be like, what's Cats? Like,
Yeah.
it just, like, it literally didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It'd make more sense if Brittany brought them all tickets to see Cats.
Yes. I feel
Yes.
like they gave that to Brittany, and Leah Michelle was like, no, I want to do that.
I want the butt crack joke.
Like, I want people to think I'm funny. Anyway.
So we're still in the opening scene, and we're 16.
I need another drink. I'll be
All right.
back. Sorry.
Good thing I have two.
So, Finn is like, guys, you forgot we have 2 songs to write. So they showed up in New York with no set list for
Okay,
nationals.
Do you remember last week? She was literally like, okay, I want 2 hit songs by the time we touch down.
Didn't happen.
No, nothing. And I was like,
Clearly
okay,
he's
come
not-
on.
Clearly, he's not very good with these children, as we will come to find. He trusts them with things, and they go off and do their own things, and that's why they don't have any songs. That is just one of many times I will talk about either the lack of chaperoning or just the sheer fact that they land in New York, they're just fucking around, and they don't have any songs yet. And their competition is like the next day or the day after, and I was livid. This is when I started my meltdown at like minute 10, if that. Like, it would have been earlier.
Yeah, I was also not impressed with their ability to handle pressure, I suppose, which is about none.
Yep.
They really just, let's put it this way. If these kids can actually write those songs in, less than 24 hours?
Yeah.
Can you
rehearse them.
Could you imagine what they could do if they actually tried hard at something and gave themselves ample time?
Is I feel like I have the same energy. Like, when I would be writing scripts for school, I would often put off most of the work, and then I felt like I did my best work the night before. So I feel that energy, but also it's just infuriating. There's so much more work that goes into writing songs and then rehearsing them than it does
Right?
writing an assignment for class.
Orchestration in and of itself, what parts are played by which instruments, is really hard.
Yeah.
That's really hard. It's one thing to write a piano song and have lyrics, and
then
that's
the
believable.
arrangements of the different harmonies and shit, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
They are all musical geniuses.
Also, they're
are
just
very
roaming
irresponsible.
around without adult supervision. With that many kids, you need at least 2 chaperones. I'm
You
surprised
remember,
Shu has not gotten sued.
I remember on class trips to DC, they'd be like, you can go to these places, and being off on my own with other teenagers.
Absolutely not. That is not a thing that our school would ever let us do, and for good reason.
No.
We were psychopaths.
Yeah, we were all supposed to, in high schools, stay together as a group, or maybe 2 groups that went in different areas. Definitely with chaperones.
I wonder if it is a difference between a school system and something like what you were in, Cullen. Like, I don't know if like the legal stuff of it is different, because honestly I think the number of chaperones you need is all just legal stuff.
Legal, yeah.
Like liability.
Yeah.
He would not be able to go by himself with that many kids.
Yeah, I mean, think of a sports team. There's usually an assistant coach.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
usually something. Yeah, and that's what they are. Essentially, they're the school activity. They're a sports team. Yeah. Okay. So they're at the hotel. Finn and Rachel are talking about like he's like, oh, like, are you still talking to Jesse? And she's like, oh yeah, he texted me. And they're like, Quinn took the breakup really well. So we just get some foundation building of that. We'll get to that later.
Mm-hmm.
And then Puck and Lauren are trying to order a Manhattan. And the bartender is like, do you even know what's in a Manhattan? And I'm like, really? The bartender should be like, oh, here you go, 45-year-old man.
Exactly, yeah. Fun fact. So right before I stopped the episode before the next one started, I saw like the cast credits. She technically isn't a bartender. She was a barmaid. That is how she was billed.
Oh.
Fun fact. In 2011, right? Yeah, that's not good.
Oh.
Barmaid.
I'm unhappy.
Same.
Ugh.
Anyway.
Ugh.
And they're just like
Wench.
in the lobby. Yeah, she's a bar wench. So they're just like walking through the lobby of this really swanky looking hotel. I'm surprised they weren't like in Jersey at like a Motel 6 or something.
Yeah, maybe the show choir competition had a deal. And, like, all the choirs could be in the same hotel.
Oh, maybe.
Like a con.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
That's possible. I mean, there are at least 50 of them. So.
Yeah, that's a lot of kids.
Uh-huh.
And Will's like, oh, I mean, that's a lot of, he's like, 2 rooms. And they're like, that's a lot of kids for, like, 2 rooms. And he's like, I was thinking of splitting them up by gender. And she's like, oh, you're here for the show choir competition? The other choirs did it by sexual orientation.
Which I don't understand. Like, I feel like that would, I don't know. I feel like that would either be like a lot of people in one room and a few people in another. But whether it's straight people versus queer people is kind of up in the air, depending on the group, I think.
I mean, if they were actually doing it by sexual orientation, there would be a lot more rooms.
Yeah, you would need more rooms because there's so many parts of the spectrum.
There's 2 orientations.
Well, according to that, I don't know if she's a hotel wench. I don't know how she was billed. But according to that concierge person, there are 2 sexualities, 2 sexual orientations, assuming.
They are hotel wench and barmaid.
Tag yourself, I'm barmaid.
So Will is like, you guys I have to go to the theater to sign some paperwork.
I have to leave.
You can't leave the room until you have 2 hit songs.
And then he just leaves. And he leaves these children to themselves.
I legitimately thought that he was going to sign paperwork.
Yeah, we'll get to where he went later. But
He's a moron.
we know.
I'm just so mad.
Let me just reiterate that.
Yeah.
And then, so they're sitting there trying to write songs. Brittany and Artie write the biggest jam since Trouty Mouth, My Cup.
I feel like it had a lot of My Headband vibes in a little bit of way because it's so focused. But yeah, definitely more bop-ish.
Well,
it kind of felt
Britney's
like a Wiggle song.
Yeah, Britney's favorite song is like My Headband, so it stands to reason that she would be inspired by it.
Yeah. I felt like it was like a Wiggle song.
Saying what's up to my cup?
Yeah.
I haven't heard Wiggle songs.
Fruit salad. Yummy, yummy. I'll sing their whole discography. I won't. I only know like 2 songs.
I don't know any of them, so you're one up on me.
I'm not proud of that, honestly.
I am Dorothy the dinosaur.
Oh my god.
Rom-pom-pa-chom.
I'm obsessed. All right. So the mixing is happening. I'm starting my coffee drink.
So they sing My Cup, and Artie references gin for the second time in the series, and I feel like that's his drink of choice.
I honestly don't understand, like, these kids, like, why are they going for gin? Don't you just go for cheap vodka first? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, gin isn't a liquor that I experienced until I was older.
Yeah.
Well, Artie, he's all about that gin life.
I wonder if he heard gin and juice, and he's become obsessed with gin that way. I could understand that.
Yeah, I could see it. And then they're like, did you write... Tina, I'm pretty sure, is the one who's like, is that a song about a cup?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah.
It literally is.
Yeah. My cup happened.
So this is where I wrote for the first time, I can't believe they don't have a set list, and they're literally at the competition. Are you fucking kidding me? And then I wrote, these songs fucking suck. And that was after My Cup, which obviously it's supposed to suck. So I understand that. But then we move on to another number.
Huck and Quinn are both like, we need inspiration. We're in New York, the city of artists and dreamers. We have to go out and we have to sing. Or we have to go out and we have to explore, which in Glee verse means we have to go out and we have to sing. And so they go out into the city, they sneak out, and they sing a mashup of New York, New York, and I Love New York.
So it was a mashup. I was wondering, because I don't really know either of those songs, but I was like, this feels like a mashup. And they never actually tell you it's a mashup, so...
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I think I just don't know the lyrics. I literally thought that was another original song. But I also was like, this sucks.
It's a combo of the movie, the song from the movie On the Town, like, you know, with the sailors are all like, New York,
right.
New York, and a Madonna song.
I don't know the lyrics to those songs. Yeah, I literally thought this was an original, but now that I know it's a mashup, I still think it sucks.
No, I think I actually asked Cullen, is this an actual song? Because I was also confused. I was like, did they just write this? Is this their original song?
Yeah, I thought that too. That's so funny. Didn't like it.
Because other cities make me feel like a dork, and other cities always make me mad. The only city that can make me glad. Like, there are some pretty cheesy rhymes.
Yeah, I literally thought, like, this was them trying to write songs.
Yeah,
That's
it wasn't
so interesting.
Good.
Yeah, I did not know that at all.
It wasn't Finn Hudson, it was Madonna who rhymed dork in York.
Well,
oh boy.
You know what? I still respect her.
Guess what I'm drinking now?
What?
A White Claw, hard seltzer, ruby grapefruit.
Nice. I love that you had to specify that it was a hard seltzer as if I wouldn't know what a White Claw was. I'm drinking my coffee drink now. I'm drinking my coffee drink now, so I'm officially mixing.
That's
it's a drink mashup.
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
It tastes delicious.
I'm gonna drink another one of these. I really like the ruby grapefruit. It is less sugary than the other one.
I like that one, and oddly enough, I like the lime. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
White Claw preferences aside.
I both love and hate this number at the same time. I literally can't decide how I feel. Sometimes I'm like, this is trash, but other times I'm like, I like this energy.
So basically, when there's terrible rhymes, you're like, this is trash. And then when it's energetic, you're like, I like this energy.
Because they're all running around New York in bright colors, having fun.
Yeah, I think I was so confused because I'm like, I don't understand any of these lyrics. This is the first time they've been to New York City. What the fuck are they talking about? And then I wrote Cliffs of Dover, ? Delaware, ? What? So yeah, I was very confused throughout this whole number.
Because you thought that they wrote it.
Yeah. But now I'm also still confused because I'm like, what, Dover, what? Delaware?
Dover, England.
Okay.
The cliffs of Dover. The White Cliffs of Dover.
Did not know that. Fun geological reference. Geographical. Wow.
We don't.
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
technically, cliffs are geological as well.
Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I actually didn't think you were messing up. I thought you meant geological.
Cool. I wasn't. What are you talking about? What? Yeah, I think because I thought it was an original song, I was like, none of this makes sense. But even now I'm thinking about it, it still doesn't make sense because I don't get it.
Now, we're going to talk about it now because we're going to have to talk about it at some point.
Okay.
So, like, I like the portrayal of New York as kind of this, like, fantasy world.
Uh-huh.
Because, like, when I was, like, a little Midwestern teen, like, New York was my Santa Fe, like,
Right.
my little fantasy world. That I thought I was going to move to New York and I was going to write musicals. I still follow my dreams, except I moved to LA to write television. But I am still writing musicals. And, like, this New York was, like, the New York I was, like, fantasizing about moving to. And, like, I had a girlfriend that wanted to move to New York. And I'm like, we're both going to move to New York together and, like, take on the world.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it captured that essence of New York that's, like, not the real city. I went there. I've been to New York. I loved it. Even though one of the days I spent lost having to pee.
Aw.
I still loved it. I saw the Unicorn Tapestries. It was great. Saw Frozen on Broadway. But I get that this isn't a realistic portrayal of New York, but I like it.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone except for New Yorkers is probably in the same boat.
Well,
Yeah.
I think I was having a hard time grappling with this whole episode because of just, like, I'm going to say theatricality in the way that, like, there's literally very little realism here with obviously, like, their preparation for nationals and the way the city is portrayed. And also there's a lot of, like, references to, like, different movies and musicals that take place in New York, like the Breakfast at Tiffany's thing, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I did kind of feel very distanced from it because I think now I understand, like, obviously the city isn't like this. So I did kind of struggle with it. It was mostly just annoying to me overall, but I get the idea. Like what you're saying, like, they're just these, like, Midwestern kids. They've never been here before, and this is really, like, a dream for them. So I think it works in this context for sure, that it's very sort of romanticized. Because I feel like if it wasn't romanticized, I would be definitely worrying for their safety because they don't have adults there. But because this is like, okay, I'm suspending my disbelief because I get what they're going for here, I was annoyed, but I wasn't like, oh my God, they're going to die.
Well, and this is where it's interesting because
Or they're going to get lost.
Yeah. I was talking with Cullen last night, and, like, I've never really wanted to go to New York.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't hold all of this splendor that I see being portrayed in this episode, or literally in any movie or TV show that I've ever seen it portrayed in, as this sort of, like, dream. I don't know. It doesn't really do it for me.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I understand where they're going, but I don't, like, personally prescribe to that idea.
You don't relate, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I do see a parallel between how they portray, how they, like, deal with this entire episode in terms of realism to actual musicals.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoy musicals. They are not realistic.
Right.
At all.
What?
Cullen's been living a lie.
I'm shook.
But it's just, I just feel like this episode went more into the fantasy world, like a musical does, than any of the other episodes of Glee that we've seen.
And I frankly think it's because of that opener with Rachel, that this is how Rachel sees New York.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
In that case, though, wouldn't it be interesting if we actually had, like, a legit episode that was specifically from her perspective and we knew it.
Right.
I get, like, visually,
Mm-hmm.
we would be able to tell that this is how she sees New York. And then maybe we could juxtapose a couple of scenes of how it actually is with what she sees.
She might
That would
come to
be-
learn how New York City really is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who's
But
to say?
it would be fun. It would be fun to do that in a Gleeboot. Just have some juxtaposed realism with what Rachel sees. That could give some comedy. I can see that.
Yeah, I honestly think like this episode wasn't funny at all, and I think I was waiting for something kind of like that.
I wonder if, because so she says Finn is too much of a country boy, but we don't really see that, and I would have loved if we had
It definitely-
Rachel.
He definitely isn't, because he was the one who set up a date with her out in Central Park, and then
Yes.
they went, like, he's clearly not a country boy if he can figure it out.
So I would have loved if we saw Rachel like having this fantasy experience in New York, and meanwhile like Finn gets peed on or something. Like,
Right.
Or what if Finn is, like, surprisingly good, like, at street smarts?
Yeah, and Rachel's like, she's so wrapped up in this fantasy that she doesn't, like, she can't
She gets-
really last in New York, but, like,
Yeah.
he can kind of get it.
Yes.
That'd be kind of
Because-
interesting.
Yes. I like that idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Thoughts for the Gleeboot.
Da-da-da.
Speaking of things that won't be in the Gleeboot, Will goes to April Road, the theater for April Road's one-woman show. And he walks in the theater, and he dances around on the stage, and he sings Still Got Tonight from Matthew Morrison's debut album.
Yes. This was the fun facts I was telling you about earlier. I literally wrote, this song sucks, and it sounds like a boy band member trying to break away from his band and not succeeding. And then I like Googled it, and I was shocked that Matthew Morrison had his own album, and this was one of like the singles on it, and I was like, what is going on? And then the context of it in the show is that it's supposed to go in her one-woman show.
A song sung entirely by a man that has nothing to do with April Rose.
Yeah,
This is the part where he was supposed to be signing paperwork.
Yes.
yeah.
And he wasn't at all. He was just singing on the stage.
And the director comes in and is like,
Oh,
I
is that
came
the
back.
director?
Yeah, that's what Glee Wiki says.
Interesting.
Oh.
I thought he was
I
just some.
just a random man.
I thought he was a security guard.
He's like, everyone else is still at lunch. I came back early, but kid, I say to this 35-year-old man,
Yeah.
kid, some people, I've seen a lot of talent come and go in this town. You got it. And I'm like,
Which
after that song.
literally that means the show has to remind us that like Shu has got it, because we don't see that he does.
Yes.
And that was literally so stupid. I wrote
Okay.
stupid so many times in my notes. Stupid and sucks.
But you guys, referring to someone as kid is not okay when you say it out loud. But I refer to people as kid all the time in my head.
Interesting.
Yeah, at first I thought you were going to say, I refer to people as kid all the time. I'm like, Alyssa, you never do that.
Because I know it's rude. But in my head, you are a child, Cullen.
That's great.
That makes him feel so good, I bet.
In my head, you are a child.
No, but it's really weird because I actually also refer to, like, people who are older than me as kid in
Are
my
you
head.
like the 1920s gangster or something?
I think I'm
Here's,
just...
here's to looking at you, kid.
Yeah, like I'm here. Like I'm seeing that all of your thoughts are in black and white, and you've got like this transatlantic accent. That's what I think is going on inside your mind.
No. If we're going to be real here, I think I've been reincarnated many times, and so I'm older than a lot of souls.
Interesting. Okay,
So that's why I refer to people as kid.
in your head only.
In my head only.
Okay.
Interesting.
I am an old soul.
She giggles maniacally. Oh boy.
All right, so
I'm drinking for Cullen. Remember this, okay?
True. I think maybe we're both drinking for Cullen.
Yes.
gotta discuss this amazing finale.
So I have a note here. I think this is when, so like right before we see Shu on stage, there's like a brief scene with the boys in their hotel room where Finn's like, I want to like text Rachel. Oh, okay, so we're not.
Oh, that's not there yet? Okay.
That's like the next thing.
Don't worry, we're going to talk about that.
Because I have a great line written here and I'm excited to say it out loud.
So we cut to the rooms, and it's actually the scene. Looking at my notes, my next notes I have say pillow fight and Finn love.
Love.
So the girls are having a pillow fight with feathers everywhere while Rachel tries to write a song, and then the boys are chilling in their hotel room, and Finn is all like, "I want to text Rachel, but she's totally into Jesse right now," and Puck is like, "You're New York, the city of love." And Sam is like, I thought that was Paris, as he's like eating a chocolate.
Yeah, he accurately says.
He's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alyssa's like, that's my Glee boyfriend.
Oh, yeah. It was like, Sam doesn't say anything dumb this episode. He says something smart.
Yeah, he actually is pretty smart this episode.
Uh-huh.
And Mike says that he wants Finn and Rachel to do a duet because that's the best way to win. And he throws a paper airplane, which once again is his signature thing. He's throwing paper.
It's his character trait.
Throwing paper.
He's Asian, he can dance, and he loves paper airplanes. Those are his character traits.
So what was the note? What was the great line you had written, Hannah?
So Puck says something like about romantic comedies.
That you grow a vagina.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, shots fired at romantic comedies and vaginas. Thanks, guys. I'll be here all week.
Wait. I just turned the world upside down. What if it was all a compliment?
No.
What? If what was a compliment?
If it was all a compliment. Like, it's an act of honor to grow a vagina so that you can watch a romantic comedy. Because not everyone can do it.
I don't think anyone can grow a vagina unless you're like an infant and you're in the womb.
Hypothetically speaking, with, like hyperbole.
I feel
I'm
drunk.
lost.
I feel so drunk.
You're welcome. That's her job.
You haven't even been drinking anything. I've been drinking for you.
Yeah.
I need another drink.
And he's hearing you talk, and he's like, yeah, you've succeeded. I feel drunk. Yeah, I thought that was funny when I wrote it, so I guess it's not funny. That's fine.
It's like when people say, you have, steel balls or something?
What?
You know when people, quote-unquote, compliment each other by saying you have...
Balls of steel?
Balls of steel, yes.
Okay.
This would be the same exact thing if we were in a matriarchy instead of patriarchy.
You have a vagina of steel. I would love if anyone said that to me. Like, you have a vagina of steel. I was like, thank you.
Yes.
I am strong.
That'd be amazing. We should make it a thing.
All right, it's happening.
Hannah.
Alyssa.
You have a vagina of steel.
Alyssa, you also have a vagina of steel. You are strong.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm close to tears.
It doesn't sound as good if I say it.
Well,
Cullen, yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we should also, because people say you have balls of steel to women, we should also tell Cullen that he has a vagina of steel.
Yeah, Cullen, your vagina is made of steel. You are strong.
So...
You're gonna thank us? That was a compliment.
Yeah, Alyssa and I are definitely drunk for you. You're welcome.
All right.
This is the weirdest episode of Gleeboot ever. Did you just make a Matthew or what's his name? Matthew McConaughey reference?
Yeah.
Oh my god. This is.
We can't move on to the next scene because I have to rant about the girls having a pillow fight.
Okay, rant about it, because I don't
hated
understand. Yeah.
No, it was bad. So the first scene we see is the guys talking about really, I don't know, intense?
Emotional,
Question?
emotional, as Miranda Sings would say.
It was just more, it had more depth than, the girls.
Well, men have a more emotional depth than women. This is a known fact.
Women
I
are too
couldn't
busy with
even-
their steel vaginas.
I couldn't even say it without laughing.
So we immediately cut to the girls' room, in which every single person is having a pillow fight except for Rachel. Which I'm not entirely sure what this is supposed to say. Is it supposed to say that Rachel is not sexy? Or is it supposed to say that all women except for Rachel are, like, dumb? I don't know.
Girls just want to have fun.
Sure.
Girls just want to have fun.
Cyndi
what I got
Lauper
from
was
it.
in that scene. She was just in
Yeah.
the background of the pillow fight.
If
She was
girls just
in the
wanted to
spirit.
have fun, there would be so many more buildings burning down right now.
Wow. Okay. I think we should move on.
I think I killed Cullen.
Your mind.
I feel like Alyssa may attribute her own pyromaniac tendencies onto other women and thinks it's just a woman thing. I think, yeah. Anyway, what's next?
So Finn asked Rachel out
Yeah,
on a
he
date.
texts her. When he texts her, I thought it was Jesse texting Rachel. I
No.
must have missed it. I thought it was Jesse.
Yeah, it said Finn. It's like, meet me at the boat bridge. And so they meet, instead of meet me at the first floor of the hotel that we're both staying at.
Right. Walk by yourself, possibly take the train. I don't know where your hotel is.
Finn has a suit that he apparently brought with him on this school trip.
Yep, valid. Totally.
Rachel has a nice dress, and they meet in the park, disappointed that if we were going for sexist romantic comedy tropes, there was no makeover scene where they covered girls just want to have fun.
True.
Yeah, missed opportunity. And so like she's walking up, and you see like bubbles around her, like someone's doing like a bubble wand in front of her, and it's pretty and it's so romantic. And they meet on the bridge, and he's like, it's like a work date. We should sing a duet, and we're like captains. And she's like, okay. And then they go to, I forget the name of the place. I just wrote Patti LuPone in my notes.
Yeah, the Patti LuPone restaurant.
They go to this famous New York restaurant where there's caricatures of Broadway stars all up on the walls. And she's like, this is my dream, like to be here. I hope that one day my caricature is up on these walls.
But why is Patti LuPone there? I feel like if you have a caricature of yourself up on the wall, you're probably not.
Yeah, I feel like if there's caricatures, I would expect that to be more of like a touristy thing. But unless it's like, I don't know. I don't know anything about this restaurant.
Yeah.
Maybe she likes to eat staring at her caricature.
It's possible.
So Patti LuPone is there, as we discussed. So as they're eating, she's like, oh my gosh, it's Patti LuPone. I have to say something, if not for me, then for Kurt. And she's like, Patti LuPone, you're my idol. And I'm like, okay, I thought that was Barbara, but whatever.
Right, yeah. Rachel, you
Streisand
fucking
wasn't
liar.
available. And she's like, can we... She doesn't ask for a picture, but she just says, oh, you're my idol. And Patti LuPone's like, oh, are you an actress? And she's like, yeah. Finn's like, we're here for the show part competition. And she's like, well, best of luck. And just
Yeah, she's like, I was in choir. And I'm like,
Yeah.
were you in show choir?
She was just in choir. It was her favorite class. And she's like, I ask you to do one thing, to never give up. And Rachel's like, okay. And then Patti LuPone is like, he's cute. And walks out of the restaurant.
I feel like Rachel could have done way worse as a fan. Like you said, like she didn't take a picture or anything. Because like we've heard tons of different people's perspectives on like fan interactions and stuff. So like I feel like she was relatively normal and chill.
Yeah.
And she
Especially
kind of,
for Rachel.
yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
just was like, because otherwise she would have been like, oh my God, I have to take a picture for Kurt. Like, she literally was just like, I really like you. I really like your work, and like I appreciate you. Like, you inspire me. I thought it was a little on the nose that Patti LuPone was like, never give up, like really sort of connecting like that. But I don't know anything about being a celebrity, so maybe Patti LuPone is legit like that. But it just kind of felt really convenient for Rachel. But I don't
It's
know.
part of
It
Famous
worked.
New York, where you run into Broadway stars.
Yeah,
casually.
that's what I was saying. It's like, it was annoying, but then I was like, but it works. Like, it works in the
Yeah.
context.
Do you think celebrities know anything about being celebrities? Excuse me, I have the gaps now.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I feel like everyone has such a different experience and handles it differently, that there's no like one way to do it. Like, Kim Kardashian's way different than like Chris Evans. You know, like, everyone handles it totally differently.
Yeah.
True.
So,
Wait, what's the requirement for being a celebrity then?
what do you mean?
If everyone handles, excuse me, like being a celebrity differently, is it literally just that, like,
People know you.
yeah, that's
We
it.
could be celebrities eventually for our podcast. We would be very small celebrities, but if we had a big enough following and like if people knew what we looked like and saw us on the street, technically we would be like small time celebrities. I think celebrities really just like people recognize you and knowing who you are based
Yeah.
on whatever you do to be famous.
Look at us, Z-listers.
Double Z listers.
I need to get some more water because these hiccups are killing me.
As you do that, there's something I was going to say about celebrities and fan culture.
It's toxic.
Z-listers. Toxic. I'm slipping under.
Now I'm just thinking of Shu. God damn it. Glee ruins everything.
Yeah. But I have this. I'm like, what if there was a Glee con and they had invited us to be panelists?
Like Leaky Con, but for Glee.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It'd be like in some like it'd be in Lima, Ohio, like in this small like hotel.
We could start it.
Glee con.
Glee Con. And
I
Ryan
just
Murphy's
watched-
like, I do not condone this.
I just watched a whole YouTube video on DashCon, like the Tumblr convention that went horribly wrong.
Wait, what? I don't even know what that is. That's crazy.
Yeah, there was a Tumblr convention and it did not go well.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
it's like the Fire Fest of cons.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I gotta read that or watch
Sarah
that.
Z has a great YouTube video.
Wait, Tumblr had a convention?
Yeah.
I'm just learning this too.
That sounds
crazy.
like it would have been bad.
Yeah, there are some ideas you hear and you're like, yeah, that's not gonna work. And then it doesn't. And you're like, I knew it.
So after their date, Rachel and Finn are walking around and they're
Cracking a cold one. I thought you were getting water, Alyssa.
I got both.
Okay.
and Rachel's like, this was the perfect date. Like, the only thing that would make it better is if there were singers, like, serenading us. And then the boys from Glee Club, minus Kurt, are there, and they start singing Bella Notte from
Okay.
Lady and the Tramp.
Okay. Question.
Yes.
Were they actually there, or was that just like I don't even know how to explain it. Was it just like a dream sequence that neither of them was addressing?
No, I thought they were actually there. Like,
Really?
they're part of the date Finn planned.
Interesting. Okay, I could not tell. I did not know. Because I feel like if he actually planned that, wouldn't Rachel like look back and be like, oh, it's them? Like,
Okay. 2 comments about this.
okay.
Number 1,
Yeah.
pretty sure this street that they were filming on was not New York.
Yeah, it did not look like New York. It kind of looked like like Boston, but like really, really clean Boston.
No, I'm pretty sure this was probably a set that was built in LA.
Yeah.
And they were filming on it and probably washed it down with water.
Yeah.
Wasn't everything shiny?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm fantasizing it.
Maybe. Anyway, I also felt like the group singing was non-diegetic.
Me too.
Music. I don't think it was necessarily a dream sequence, but I don't think they were supposed to actually be there. Because I feel like they should have at least had some sort of reaction to Rachel, like, not kissing Finn. Like, oh, dude, that sucks. Or maybe have him stop them. Like, okay, obviously it didn't work. Guys, stop singing.
Yeah, or them reacting to them. I definitely think it was some sort of non-diegetic. That's why I was like, is it a dream sequence that, like, it's just not, no one's addressing? Yeah, I couldn't figure it out. Also, did not like the way that Puck sang Bella Notte. The way he just, like, I don't know how I feel about him singing that word, that phrase. It just felt very off.
Beautiful night.
Just like there's a certain, I don't know, like, because it's an Italian phrase, and just like it sounded so like country. I don't know how to explain it.
No, you're right. It's supposed to be more like a delicate, romantic sort of song. But when Puck is singing it, it's not that. It's more like
there's something
like
off.
It's like they're trying to make it sexy, and that's not what it's supposed to be at all.
Yeah, it was really odd. I didn't care for that.
First Disney cover, I'm pretty sure, on Glee.
How much did they pay for that?
Probably not that much, because I actually didn't realize it was a Disney cover until you said it, and I was like, oh yeah, it is.
Well, I mean, they weren't owned by Disney back then, and Disney is notoriously
true.
Tight with their songbook.
Yes.
Even with, like, would you say, like, this is probably a lesser known number, though?
It's not even that lesser known.
Yeah, but it's not one of their, like, showstoppers.
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like you hear this and you know it's from Lady and the Tramp, right?
Yeah.
If I heard the original, yeah. The Glee version, absolutely not.
I wish, well, they already made the Lady and the Tramp spaghetti reference. I'm like, they should have done the spaghetti thing where they nudged the meatball.
Yeah.
But that was Britney's. Britney owns that.
Sad
unless
Britney.
Is this song an actual Disney song, or did it exist before Disney and it's in the
Ooh, that's a good question.
domain?
That could be.
It could be.
I don't actually know. It's just something that I'm putting out there.
That's possible. So Finn, he says something about, well, you go into it, I guess, about what they talk about.
Because Finn is like, this is perfect, and Rachel's all like, this is perfect, and he's like, basically like, do you want to get back together? And she's like, I thought this was a work date, and he's like, did you? And then she's like, basically like, no, and then he goes in to kiss her, and she's like, no, I can't. I have to choose, like, this is my life, this is my dream, this is New York. And then he goes in to kiss her again, and he's like, take a chance on me, and she's like, I can't, and she leaves. And they finish the song.
So when I heard him say take a chance on me, I so badly wanted them to start singing Take a Chance on Me from a la Mamma Mia, which was definitely referenced in Times Square, the billboard.
Yeah.
I literally was like, why? Why did you miss this great chance? It would have been so hilarious. I would have loved a Mamma Mia-like number of the Glee kids somehow being there, but them not really referencing them, and them singing Take a Chance on Me, and Rachel's just like running away from it. Like, I would have loved that kind of bananas number because of this sort of fantastical representation, because this episode was so boring.
I was so invested.
I was so like, I want something interesting to happen. I just was not invested in any of this.
I wasn't invested until one specific point, and then I was invested in that point, and then I wasn't invested anymore. Which we haven't gotten to yet.
I'm a Finchel stan. Not a stan, more of a shipper. More like, because stan means I'm like all about them.
Wait, what is stan? Is it short for something? Stan and...
I think it's just a verb.
What? That's weird.
It's
Why
like
don't
you
people just say
still
Finchel
wholeheartedly
stan?
believe in it. Like,
why?
like people
I
who...
can't explain that.
You can?
I can't.
Oh, I was like,
I'm
go
I
ahead.
don't have time. I don't have the energy.
Yeah,
Just
it
the
is
internet.
a lot. Yeah, it's the internet. That's really the only thing. Yeah.
But I want to know.
I thought I was a child who doesn't know things in your mind.
I said you were a child. I never said you didn't know anything.
Aw,
Aw.
There are genius children.
true.
This is continuously a weird conversation. Let's move on. Kurt gets in the girls' room somehow.
Yeah, and he wakes up Rachel and is like, "We're going to breakfast at Tiffany's. Come on." And they didn't cover. I said, "What about breakfast at Tiffany's?"
Tiffany's. Again, another missed opportunity for great humor.
And they get breakfast, and she's like, "Finn wants to get back together, but I love New York, and Finn's too much of a country boy to move here." Because Rachel's like, "I want to go to college here," and Kurt's like, "I do too." So they're fantasizing about New York, and Kurt's like, "Bring Finn, he can lift heavy stuff." And she's like, "He's too much of a country boy." And he's like, "The classic dilemma, choosing between the career or love. I have something that will help." And he takes her to the theater where Wicked is playing.
Mm-hmm.
And they somehow casually break in.
Yeah, he's like really mischievous all of a sudden. I was like, who is this Kurt? I don't know. New York has really gone to his head. What's in that bagel?
Also, how did they break in?
Great question. We'll never know. It kind of felt like they just walked in and avoided like eye contact with people, and everyone was just like, whatever.
For anyone who wants to know, breaking into places isn't that big of a deal if you look like you know what you're doing.
All right, so we're gonna cut that from the episode.
Not that I've actually done it, but honestly, looking like you know what you're doing is a really great way. It's not about breaking in; it's about conning your way in.
Interesting.
So, Rachel and Kurt are in the theater, and the usher sees them and is like, "What are you doing here?" And they're like, "Oh my gosh, we're so sorry." He's like, "Let me guess, you're from Indiana." And they're like, "Ohio." And you have this big dream of singing on a Broadway stage, and they're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You get 15 minutes."
That was the most realistic part of this episode. I believe that happens all the time. That security guard was like, "I don't give a fuck what you do. You have 15 minutes. That's it."
I loved the security
thought that
guard.
was so funny. And I was like, this is legit. Like, I believe this happens all the time.
Yeah. And they get on stage, and they're just like, "Oh, we love it." And Kurt's like, "Just imagine singing." And she's like, "There's no orchestra." And he's like, "Just imagine it in your head."
As
like,
if she hasn't
spoiled.
sung it through the hallways with absolutely no orchestra or band. Like, Rachel...
Come on, I know you have at least some imagination.
Yeah, exactly.
And so she imagines, and they sing "For Good" from Wicked.
Yeah.
And they're like exploring the stage and stuff, which is like the ultimate 2011 theater kid song, like a song from Wicked.
Yeah.
Like, that was my jam in high school.
I was surprised they were so bold, though. Like, going on the sets and everything, I was kind of like, ooh, I don't even know if I'd do that. People worked hard on those. What if you broke it?
True.
Shit.
That also made me think of also how much it costs, the fact that they had to get on that stage or whatever and use those props. Like, how much that cost to reserve that for the day. I just felt like Like, this was an expensive episode. Like, they were pulling out all the stops for this hype.
I mean, they didn't need to reserve the Wicked stage for a day. They probably just made that on their own.
That was the Wicked stage.
No, I was gonna say that's gotta be the actual stage. Like, I feel like they wouldn't just replicate it. Like, it felt like they would have had to have been there. Like, it felt that momentous.
Because that was like what the set looks like.
But how do you know?
I don't know, but I think sets like that are copyrighted. You can't just recreate it.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I feel like that's what's really interesting is, like, also they had like that, they made a Crossroads billboard thing that they hung above one of the theaters before she went in earlier. Like, these little things, and then like this set, like, it felt like they're clearly putting in money for these different pieces and shots, that it felt much bigger than Glee, which I thought was really interesting. But to me, it kind of felt like it was okay. It felt like it was like competing with the story. Like, I just felt like maybe more time and energy has been spent on like planning the different things they wanted to put in the episode, and then they built around that, and it didn't really work for me.
But, I mean, the crossword shot, like, you don't need anything special for that. She was on the street, and then you just see a shot of the sign, and then you see him in the stage, like, in the building.
Right.
So, like, you don't see the sign and the street. You just see the sign. That's not a expensive shot. You just make a sign. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I'm saying like the little moments they have put up here, and I'm not even talking about like the pricing, like just like they're building around these tiny moments that really feel like somewhat momentous in a way, but like the rest of the story just kind of is like not really there.
This was Glee at the height of its popularity, though.
Yeah.
So they had the money to really go all out.
To do whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it did. It kind of felt like various resources were spent elsewhere, and maybe the time just wasn't really given to the story. Like, I kind of felt like, I feel like throughout the, like, a lot of season 2 was kind of ebb and flow for what, like, logic, I think. And I feel like this finale kind of shows that, like, the sort of central ideas kind of weren't fully developed.
So, like, what you're saying is because Glee was at its height in popularity, it had more money. And instead of spending money on the things that counted, like the story, they spent money on the things that probably, you know, like, made it feel big.
Yeah, I feel like they tried to make it feel big with their resources, but the story, I don't know. It didn't really hold up for me.
Like the story was overshadowed by it.
Yeah.
One example of that, I think, is so last episode Quinn is like, I had big plans for New York. And then this episode Quinn is like, taking a while in the bathroom, and then she's like, I'm going to tell Will that Kurt and Rachel have been sneaking out all the time, and they're going to get in trouble, and we'll have to suspend them. We can't perform. Oh, no. And they're like, Santana and Brittany are like, what are you doing? You can't do that. And Quinn is basically torn up of her breakup, and she's like, we're supposed to be the popular girls. How come we can't have love? Mm-hmm. Even Tina has it. Even Zizes has it. How come we can't? And they're like, Santana's like, I know what will make you feel better. And Quinn's like, I'm flattered, but I'm not interested. And
I laughed out loud at that.
And she's like, no, a haircut. And so they give Quinn a haircut, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, like, that's, like, it's so stupid. Like, I was not listening to anything that Quinn was saying, because as soon as she opened her mouth and she was talking about, like, Finn and Rachel stuff, I was like, oh my God, like, Quinn, you are so much smarter and better than this. Like, I'm sorry they're giving you the storyline. But yeah, like, it really, they didn't know what else to do with Quinn. They just, like, gave her a haircut, and that was it. And it's just like...
Yeah. She has no overarching plan. She has nothing. Like, she had big plans for New York. No, she didn't. She had no plans for New York.
Especially if she was so willing to just throw it away. She clearly wasn't that invested in, like, how it was going to go.
Also, why is it that love is the only thing that motivates women?
Because apparently that's the only thing that motivates women. According to the Glee writers.
Here and say no.
I have been motivated by many more things than love. Yeah, it's just... But that's the thing, is I'm a real person, and Glee is not real, and it operates on these weird ideas of people, and I don't understand it.
What if Santana said to Quinn, instead of let's give you a haircut, you have a vagina of steel?
Then it would just be like a big, like, you know what, you're better than this. And I would be here for that kind of conversation. Like, I honestly feel like Santana is the kind of person who could give that. And be like, listen, you're way more interesting than that stupid boy you were with. Like...
I'm going to be honest here. I am not against haircuts. I actually really like haircuts, and I use them in the exact same way that Quinn uses her haircut.
All right, you heard it here first.
When you're not in control of the situation, change your hair. Yep. I love dyeing my hair and cutting my hair whenever I feel out of control.
All right.
And it is very refreshing.
Yeah.
Also, she looks great with short hair.
I wish they would have given it more weight. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Quinn is such a sidelined character that, like, when we get any glimpse of what she's going through, it's so superficial. But, like, if we had given more to her and been like, she's really going through, like, an identity crisis, or, like, she feels like she's out of control, like, it would have made more sense. And I feel like it would have been more powerful if she made that decision on her own, rather than someone being like, you need a haircut.
Girls just want to have fun.
Exactly. Girls just want to do makeovers.
Ew, we just want to have pillow fights and fall in love.
Gross.
As Brittany would say. Gross.
Our most iconic line.
Truly. So then we see Dustin Goolsby, the coach of Vocal Adrenaline again.
Oh my God.
Will runs into him, and Dustin Goolsby is all like, I heard you're going to Broadway, like, good luck. And he's like, how did you find out? It's like, it's all over the theater blog. So the one theater blog that matters. Don't tell your kids, it will crush them.
Well, the weird thing about that sequence is, it's that it's like, he confronts him somewhere else, and then all of a sudden they're getting drinks together. It's really weird. Like, you did not need to move the scene.
I just think there's a lot of sexual tension between Dustin Goolsby.
They fuck. Yeah.
That was in the when they transition scenes. That's what they skipped over.
Oh, so that was post-coital drinks. Got it.
Yeah. Not every day I get to hear the word post-coital.
You're welcome.
And Dustin...
Go back to Grant.
Oh my God. Yep. Okay.
This is what happens when you don't drink, Cullen. We have to drink for you.
Sorry. Inside joke, listeners.
And so, and then he's like, Dustin is all like, I hate my kids. And Will's like, I love my kids. I love watching them grow up and grow.
Gross.
And Dustin is like, just don't tell your kids. And then Will comes up to the hotel with a bunch of pizza and is all like, hey, we gotta write songs. And they're all like, we heard that you're leaving. And he's like, actually, I'm not leaving. I'm staying here with you guys. And then
what about April? I literally wrote, what about April?
Nope, nothing.
Yeah.
It's a one-woman show, remember? He wasn't needed.
True. But, like, he was supposed to be some sort of, like, music director. He's writing it for her, and then he just, like, abandons her. Like, there's no resolution there.
Nope.
That storyline felt really weird and underwhelming.
Yeah, it was... I mean... I don't know. It was stupid. I'm over it.
We don't even see her.
No.
Like, we see her name and the theater and everything. We even see the director, question mark?
Director / security guard.
Yeah, we don't see her at all.
They didn't want to pay for Christian Chenoweth. They're paying for the Wicked stage.
Exactly. They're like, do we want a Wicked actor or do we want the Wicked stage?
Yeah. So then they're at Nationals, and they're like, the top 50 teams are here. So that's a lot of teams.
That's so many teams. Like, are they going in brackets? Like, is this like March Madness? I don't understand how it works.
And they're all excited, and then Rachel's in the bathroom, which missed opportunity to cover Michael in the bathroom from being more chill.
Okay.
But, anyway, she walks in and she hears Sunshine cortisone throwing up, and then Sunshine leaves the bathroom stall and she's like, "Oh, shoving your fingers down the throat like the rest of your brainwashed vocal adrenaline junkies or whatever." And it's like, Rachel, you tried to do that on like the second episode of Glee.
Yeah, like let's not bring like body dysmorphia and eating disorders into this, Rachel. Like, shut up.
Yeah. And Sunshine is basically like, paraphrasing, how come you're such a bitch to me?
Yeah.
Like, why do you send me to that crack house? Like, I heard it was supposed to be a really safe space, and you made it not safe for me. And Rachel's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was threatened by your talent, and I'm sorry I did all that. And Sunshine's like, I'm going to go to the Filipino embassy to get them to revoke my green card so that I can't perform, because it's the only way to escape vocal adrenaline. Because they're awful. And Rachel's like, no, you have a gift. You have to go out and share it. You have to go and perform. And if you get nervous, just look for me in the crowd and I'll smile and support you.
Makes no fucking sense. Sunshine Corazon has been in like 3 episodes, and her and Rachel have not, like, there's nothing built up there. It's just Rachel's an asshole. Sunshine hasn't done anything wrong. And then, like, this resolution just is very flat. It's too convenient. Yes, it's super dumb.
I want Sunshine to have so much more of a part. Gleeboot, she's gonna be like, I don't know. I don't know where I would put her.
I feel like Sunshine
way more lines.
Isn't even necessary, unfortunately, like, as talented as the character is. But, like, what purpose does she really serve in the show? Like, she doesn't really serve.
She's a threat to Rachel.
No, I want her to be in Gleeboot with in Glee with Rachel. Because she is a threat to Rachel.
Yes,
and
if she's actually used that way. But, like, in this, like, it was just super annoying. Like, she's not even necessary, and it's like...
no, it's not. But I want her to be necessary. I want to make her necessary.
Yeah. Sunshine as a recurring character.
Yeah, like, in a way that makes sense, because, like, more than just... She was a Night of Neglect, and then this episode... And, like, other than that, we only saw her in the first episode when Rachel sent her to a crack house, which, like, Sunshine forgave really quickly.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is Sylvester is, like, the antagonist for the Glee club, but there's no very clear antagonist for Rachel. And I feel like Sunshine could be that.
Well, the antagonist for Rachel is often Quinn because of Finn, but in terms of talent, yeah.
Right.
And I think we're thinking for the Gleeboot, a more interesting main storyline would less be who gets the boy and more like who's more talented, who's the star.
Exactly.
It could actually be really interesting if the person that she's maybe in this love triangle with her other person is also equally talented, because Quinn isn't often seen as equally talented to Rachel. And that could be really interesting to combine.
So if we change Quinn basically is Sunshine Corazon?
Like, what
or
if
vice versa?
Quinn is like Sunshine Corazon, she's really good, and like, what if she ends up transferring to Vocal Adrenaline?
Interesting. And then we could have more of like an insight into what Vocal Adrenaline actually does. If we're
Yeah.
love triangle. That would be cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I like that.
Spitballing.
She could team up with Jesse St. James.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be so many opportunities there.
Oh yeah.
So, Sunshine forgives her, and then we're at the performance. One of the clubs, an all-female performance group, is singing "Yeah" by Usher.
Oh, you know what? All I have to say is uncomfy.
I actually really like that song.
I like the song. I didn't care for the cover.
I mean, I was jamming out. I was having a good time. Also, I knew that everyone was, of age, so it wasn't a problem.
True.
It's just like, yeah, I'm liking this. It's a good performance. Actually, I think it was the best performance of all of them.
You know what? I'm going to second that, though. Even though I was like, this is uncomfy, possibly a bit problematic, but I think it was the only one I actually watched beginning to end, and it was the shortest.
Uh-huh.
The other ones, I'm pretty sure I dozed off. So,
I'm pretty sure it's
you're right.
the best performance.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was good in context, like definitely
Right.
uncomfortable with the age they're supposed to be, but
that, and I think also like the racial makeup of the group, like that's a song originally sung by a few different black men, and so like some of the like affectations of the white women made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I watched it all the way through. That's more than I can say for the other performances.
Speaking of the other performances, Sunshine, Corazon, Vocal Adrenaline sing "As Long as You're Here." Sunshine's nervous and she sees Rachel like clapping and smiling, and Finn's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm making something right."
Hold on.
That doesn't make up for sending her to a crack house.
Not only that, but anyone who's ever been on stage before knows it's impossible.
You
to
can't see
spot
anyone.
someone.
You can maybe see the first people in the row like barely because of the light's shining down, but everyone else is just pitch black, and you're blinded by the lights reflecting in your face. Like
exactly.
There's no way.
She'd never be able to see Rachel.
This has happened in previous competitions too, like when Kurt first does a competition with the Warblers.
Yeah.
Like,
and Rachel's like smile.
Yeah, and I'm like, there's no way he can see her. There's like, unless like the house lights are completely up, but then like that ruins the whole performance. Like, whatever, I'm over it.
Probably not, but let's say.
Definitely not over it. I will carry it to my grave.
So now it's time for the New Directions to perform.
New Directions.
I don't know which one you said.
New Directions, standing up straight. They are erect on the stage.
So backstage, Finn and Rachel are backstage, and Finn walks up to her and is like, "I'm confused. You've basically been, all you ever wanted is for us to be together, and now I'm here begging you." And you say, "No, you're not. You don't want it." And she's like, "This is my life. This is my dream, New York, and I can't have anyone get in the way of that." And then they sing a song that Finn wrote called "Pretending."
So this actually made me think a lot about what you said really early on in the podcast, was that like the Rachel Finn pre-competition performance meetup, I guess. Like they always have some sort of like deep conversation before. This one felt very uncomfortable to me because like he's like, "I'm practically begging you," and you're saying no, and he's like whining about it. And like for the first time in a really long time, I think I'm siding with Rachel, that she's like trying to be professional quote unquote, about it and trying to focus really on herself. And Finn's like, but why? And it just kind of like, I don't know, like I was just really kind of thinking about that throughout the whole number and vaguely listening to the lyrics I frankly did not pay attention to.
Well, it wasn't a great song. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
I will say that I don't think either of them were professional about it. If Rachel was really going to be professional about it, she would have been like, let's focus on the competition right now.
Right. She wouldn't have even like
about this later.
Yeah, she wouldn't have even like participated. Exactly. I think like she was doing a Rachel version of being as professional because she obviously still wants that attention. But it's just like it didn't make any sense because like Rachel was begging him to forgive her however many episodes ago, like early on in the season. And now he's like, get back together with me. And she's like, I don't want to right now. Like, I want to do this. And like, it's
because she's in New York. The whole thing is because she's in New York.
Right. It's just like, it makes me think of like, just their toxicity in their relationship. Like when it's not convenient for one of them, for the other person to say yes, like they complain about it and they whine about it. And it was so annoying. Yeah.
It definitely felt like real teenagers though.
It did.
Not healthy.
Kind of.
But...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think if I was a teenager, I would still be like, oh no, we're talking about this later.
Yeah.
Get back over into your spot. What are you doing?
Yeah, get back to your queue.
Yeah. That curtain is about to go up.
And the curtain goes up and they sing, and I actually I don't think it's a great song, but I actually kind of like it.
It's not bad. It's not good.
I disagree. I think it's bad. I did not like it at all.
I don't remember it.
Also, what's the proof that he wrote it? I don't remember that at all. I probably blacked it out.
She's like, you wrote a really good song. I didn't know you had it in you.
Yeah.
Wow,
she compliments him on it.
And also condescends him at the same time.
Yep.
That's very Rachel. Yeah, I must have missed that.
And so they sing, and as they finish the song, they kiss each other.
It's a steamy kiss.
Oh, boy.
That's like an adult kiss.
And it's like we're spinning around, and the whole stage is silent, and we feel... It's like... I just love the moment because you feel their passion, and you feel the awkwardness of everyone else around them at the same time.
That would never happen. But it would never happen. If they kiss like that on stage, you know that people would be cheering.
You think? I don't know.
I think so.
I don't think like people even know who these people are, and they're just like, why the fuck are they kissing?
Well, I mean, if you have two lead singers, okay, and they're singing, if you listen to the lyrics, they're singing about, I don't actually know, something to do with love. I don't remember the song.
You're saying, but if you listen to the lyrics, I wasn't listening.
It's like, will we ever say the way we're feeling?
I didn't say I wasn't listening. I said I didn't remember.
Okay.
And then... you have them kiss very steamily on stage. Like, the whole thing seems planned to me. I feel like people would be excited about it.
I disagree. I think people would be really uncomfortable because also they're teenagers.
That's true.
I think they're teenagers and also that, like, they don't know who these people are and they're just like, whoa, that feels like some personal stuff coming out. I don't know how I feel about this.
Maybe then... If it was like an older group, do you think it would be different?
Like if they were adults?
Yeah, if you knew that they were adults.
No, I still think people would be really uncomfortable.
I think it'd be more awkward if they were adults.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Really?
Because people expect teenagers to be messy.
Okay. I feel like the whole thing, regardless of age, would just be really uncomfortable because I think this is kind of what Jesse says a little bit later, is that like it brings something super private to the public and it's not professional. And like I can kind of agree with that.
Well, then what about the age of the audience? Because if you think about this happening with a high school audience.
Yeah, if it's the high school that they go to, people may be cheering and be like, oh my god, yes, like I shipped them because I'm a classmate. But like regardless, like if, like even if it's, and I think any other
like
audience would be uncomfortable.
I feel like high schoolers are crass enough to be like, yeah, kissing.
Yeah, but I don't think it wouldn't be anything genuine. I still think it would be like
true,
awkward.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it would be genuine, but I think it would be less silent.
It was deadly silent. And that was. I feel like people would. I feel like you would hear murmuring, being like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
Because Jesse, as we mentioned, sneaks in and he's like, I couldn't stay away.
Which was
I should have
weird.
played to New York.
That was bullshit. That was bullshit writing is what it was. He wasn't there the entire time, and all of a sudden he shows up right before their number, and I'm like, okay, something's going to go down, and then that happens. I'm like, okay, obviously that was, like, they planted him there, so there was some sort of consequence later on. I'm like, that's bullshit writing is what that is. I'm sorry.
And Jesse was like, or because Will's like, you from the performance or from her? And then when they kiss, he's like, was that scripted? And Will's like, no. And then Will starts the clap.
Weird.
I thought he was trying to like move him along. I actually thought it made sense. Like, just like, okay, let's end this.
Yeah, I can see that. I think it's just, I'm distracted by it being Schuster.
Of
I
course.
feel like it
You're
definitely
distracted by anything that Schuster does.
I feel like it would have been really weird if some random person in the crowd was like, yeah, woo! Like, I feel like she was the only person to have done that.
Honestly, I think that's really funny.
If it was
Sunshine
Corazon, she was like cheering them on. That could have been kind of fun.
Oh, yeah.
But it was Shu because logic. But if it was some random person, I would have been really uncomfy.
So then the guitar starts and they sing Light Up the World.
Can we talk
Another
about the guitar?
song. Yeah.
It sounds exactly like that classes song they sang in regionals. Like it's
Loser
almost
Like Me.
It's almost like the exact same kind of like overproduced guitar sound.
I'm trying to think of Loser Like Me in my head.
Dun,
It's-
dun,
Are you
dun,
talking
dun,
about
dun, dun, dun. It's something like that. It's very similar.
Well, we talked about like an overproduced guitar sound with the song with Sam. No, not with Sam. That same episode. But it was the episode we found out that Sam was homeless. But it was with the guitar.
Oh, during the Fleetwood Mac song?
Yeah. Yeah, Rumors. That's what it was. That's the episode it was.
Yeah.
Not that one? You're not talking about that one?
No, she's talking about the original song that they did at regionals.
Yes.
Interesting.
I think they're different enough, but they definitely have similar vibes.
I didn't like this one as much.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you. Little sneeze break. Yeah, no, like I feel like it's kind of like you know how some bands, like a lot of their music kind of sounds the same, like Nickelback or I can't think of another one. Creed kind of sounds a lot of the same. It kind of felt like that, which is fine. But like when they started the guitar solo, I literally thought they were going to sing that song again. I was like, oh, this is it's a different song. Okay.
Cool.
This one has a lot of diversity in soloists. Like Santana has a solo, Brittany, Artie,
Yeah,
Tina,
for sure.
Finn and Rachel.
I didn't understand the song at all. I didn't get what it was saying.
What is it called?
Light Up the World.
It's like about
I don't
dancing.
remember it.
It's like just light up the world. Like light it up, baby. Like Alyssa
This
says,
little
girls just
light
want to
of mine.
light houses on fire.
I'm
She
gonna
didn't
let
say
it
houses.
shine.
She said buildings.
This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine.
It was like, because Santana's solo is like, we've been dancing in the dark, it's been hurting me or whatever. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, the chorus starts and I'm like, what? You can't give up the which it sounded super overproduced. Like it did not sound like they were really singing. And like, I don't know. I wasn't into it. I didn't like it. I didn't understand it.
I like Loser Like Me better.
I like this one better.
I think Loser Like Me it's catchier. And I think Rachel's song is also easier to sing along to, because like I don't think either of these songs are that easy to sing along to me. I don't feel a hook.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, like their original songs are okay, but I like Glee because I like to hear what they're going to come up with,
For
like
the cover.
what are their covers going to be like, So, sure, you did an original song, but I wanted to know what the cover was going to be.
Can I be honest? It actually kind of feels like these songs for this last episode took less time to write than the ones for the regional episode, because it felt like those had a bit more time to write the lyrics and come up with the music, and these felt a bit more rushed. Like, I mean, like literally in terms of the production.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course. Like,
they wrote them in one day.
Exactly.
I don't mean but yeah, like the people who actually wrote them, like it kind of felt a bit more rushed. Like it kind of felt like they didn't know what they wanted New Directions to say at nationals because they had done this at regionals. Like I thought they were going to go back to covers, and then I'm like, oh no, that's right, they have another whole set of originals that I just don't remember, and this is why. Like I just don't think they're that good. I think the other ones are easier to sing along to.
Yeah, I see, like, and that's sort of the feeling I get too, is that if they had done covers and they put a lot of effort into them, they would have felt more, like, they would have felt like actually like they could have gotten into the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And that's maybe why they didn't do anything like that. But it just feels like you can feel more quality in other episodes.
Yeah. So I have a question for you, Alyssa. Did you think that they would win in some shape or form, like whether it be like they rank or they actually win? Like, did you think New Directions was going to win?
I don't think I really had I don't think I tried to predict that.
Okay.
I was kind of expecting either or.
Okay, interesting.
As soon as I saw their songs, I knew that I was going to be upset if they won because they weren't great.
Right. Yeah, because I think, like, I was thinking, it was like, okay, this is going to be a formula. They're not going to make it. They're not going to win. So, like, they have something else to look forward to the next season.
Yeah.
So I think,
could have seen them getting into the top 10 and then not winning.
Okay.
But I really didn't have any expectation for them to win the entire nationals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after the big scene, after the performance, they're all in the hallway, and Finn and Rachel are talking. Finn is like, that was a Superman of kisses. It had a cape on it. It was the kiss of the century. And Jesse is like, that was unprofessional and vulgar, and the judges will hate it. And yeah, so he's like, judges are going to hate it. It's crass. And Finn is all like, it was amazing. The judges are going to love it. And then Rachel's just kind of concerned. And then they're like, oh, they've posted the results. And Will reads it for them. And he finds that they didn't place, but they got in 12th place out of 50 teams.
That's really good.
It's really good.
I kind of would have wanted them to find that out, because that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, they don't really address that. You don't find out until after. However, I do kind of want to go over a couple of the group names I saw that were in the top 10, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
Waffle Toots. I think they got like third place. There was the problematically named Singers with Attitude, which is play on NWA. 12 Steps. I'm thinking that's a group of AA goers. I don't know. Teenage Scream, Vocal Extreme, and Soundsplosion. So I think the prop people, they got a little tired after a while. after Waffle Toots and Singers with Attitude, they're like, fuck this. Soundsplosion.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but can we just touch on how awful the other 438 choirs must have been?
Right, yeah. Like, how bad were they that, like, I didn't like either of the songs New Direction saying, like, what did they do wrong? Like, what did, whatever. I can't even think of another garbage name. But, like, what did they do that, like, New Directions beat them? Like, I feel like they should have been, like, 46th.
I could see them in the 30s somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice of you.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Oh, come on. They can't be, like, I've seen in person better choirs than them. And the choirs that I've seen haven't even danced.
Yeah.
I've seen choirs that have been better and choirs that have been worse.
Yeah. But are they 12 of 50?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like maybe they got 12th because they wrote their own songs. I think they got a lot of credit for that.
I don't know. You shouldn't get credit for writing your own songs. You should get credit for the performance.
True. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, so then we cut to Kurt and Blaine after the fact.
They're
so
at
Kurt's
the
explaining
coffee shop.
the lime of bean, yeah. And Kurt's explaining to Blaine what happened. He's like, Jesse kept going on about how unprofessional the kiss was and how it cost us nationals. And we get to the hotel room and Santana explodes and it cuts to Santana speaking in Spanish and she's like, I'm from Lima Heights adjacent. You know what happens in Lima Heights adjacent?
Bad thing.
thing.
Casas malas, is what she says.
And she's like, they're holding her back and Rachel's like sobbing and it's hilarious.
It's
a little problematic.
It's so weird too. Like, I don't know.
The songs that they sung weren't that great, so I don't understand why everyone is blaming Rachel and Finn for the kiss. Because it didn't feel earned to me. Like, the kiss wasn't good, but also the songs weren't that great either.
Here's the thing. If they went on doing these songs, they believed in them enough, probably, right? So if someone went off script and did something they weren't supposed to do or wasn't unscript, that's very easy to blame them other than the songs. To be like,
that's true.
You did something that we didn't agree on as a group, but we agreed on these songs.
I wish I would have seen that then.
Yes, that would have been way more interesting than, like, seeing Santana blow up. Like, it would have been way more interesting if it was like, you guys went off script. Like, that's not cool. Like, we agreed on these songs as they were, but you did something else, and we think that may have cost us. Like, that's going to suck for Rachel and Finn to hear, but that's better drama, and it's also, like, it just makes more sense.
That's what Jesse was saying. They had Jesse be the voice of that.
Yeah, and
except it doesn't make sense for him to be the voice.
Who gives a fuck what Jesse says? Like, Jesse's gonna say that because he's pissed that Finn just kissed Rachel. But if it had come from the people in Glee or in New Directions, it would have made more
stronger.
Sense. Yes.
Yeah. And so as they're talking about it, Blaine's like, "You don't seem upset," and Kurt's like, "No, I got to go to New York. I got to fly in a plane for the first time, have breakfast at Tiffany's, sing on a stage. It was a great trip." And I'm like, yeah, I feel that, Kurt.
Yeah, no, like, Kurt really is like, I'm totally cool with it. Like, I got to do these other great things,
and then they see Sam and Mercedes.
Whoa. Blaine says, I love you.
I love you.
I squealed. I was like, oh my God, that's the big I love you. Holy shit.
Wait, this isn't the first time he said it, right?
Yeah.
No, because didn't he say it last time? Like, didn't he say it like, I'm so in love with you or something? I don't know.
This is
not
the same. First time they said I love you.
This is
not the same
because
as I love you.
Kurt is astounded by it. He, like, stops and he's like, I love you too.
Yeah.
You know, I say that all the time to my family. It's not that big of a deal.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
but they're your
you're
family.
not in a romantic relationship with your family. But yeah, I like legit squealed. I was like, holy shit, I don't remember this ever happening. This is crazy.
It was cute.
It was. Very cute.
I can't say it, you guys.
And then something also cute happens.
They run into Sam and Mercedes.
Who ran into each other in the parking lot, says Mercedes.
Allegedly.
Sure, Mercedes.
And they're like, as they turn the corner, they're like, do you think they know? And they're like, no. And they like, it's a shot of them holding hands.
I don't remember this ever happening because, like, I think a couple episodes, like Prom, I was like, I ship Sam and Mercedes.
Yes,
I didn't think it was going to come up. I did not know that.
They're totally a thing.
I'm into it. It's
Your
great.
favorite Glee couple.
Honestly, so not problematic. They're literally the best.
Sam Sadie.
Sam Sadie's?
That's their
Sam
official
Sadie's. Yeah.
Sam Sadie's.
Yeah.
Mercedes.
Mhm.
Not to be confused with San Sadie's, which is Santana and Mercedes when they sing awesome duets.
Interesting. Well, wouldn't it be like Sermes?
Okay.
I feel like you're forcing it. Just let it roll off the tongue. Whatever comes to mind, that's your ship name.
So, Brittany and Santana are talking at the lockers. And Brittany's like, you can't stay mad at Rachel forever. And Santana's like, I can. Do you think this voodoo doll looks enough like Rachel Berry to actually work?
That I actually laughed out loud at. I thought that was kind of funny.
Voodoo doesn't actually have voodoo dolls. PSA for everyone.
Oh, I didn't know that, actually.
Oh, yeah, fun fact.
Wow. Okay, cool.
Education.
So then where did that even come from? Like dolls?
I'm not sure.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Hollywood, somehow.
Yeah,
Probably. Probably. You right.
The Ryan Murphy show, specifically. And then Brittany's like, I love everyone in Glee Club. They're a family, and we fight. We steal each other's boyfriends and girlfriends. That's just what families do. And you're like, okay,
Brittany,
sort of.
Brittany, what's going on in your family?
And she's like, I know that I'm going to be a bridesmaid in Mike and Tina's wedding. And I just think that's super cute.
And then she says, and I'm going to wait anxiously to find out if their babies are Asian too. And I was like, what?
Glee couldn't resist making one last Asian joke this season.
You're right. That's exactly what I thought too. I was like, well, there's the Asian joke for the week.
And she's like, and when Artie takes his first steps, I'm going to be there. And it's like, didn't he already take steps on that machine?
Yes.
at
Yeah.
Christmas?
Does he still have it? Is he still using it? What's going on?
We haven't seen it since then.
We also haven't seen Coach Beast in a while. I don't know. Was she also regifted with those leg things? Who knows?
Who knows? And she's like, I love you. You're my best friend. And they hug. It's really cute.
And Santana literally says something that I thought was really profound. She's like, when did you get so smart? And I'm like, listen, Brittany has been emotionally intelligent for a long time. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like she deserves some respect in that regard.
She is very emotionally intelligent.
And then we have a scene with Rachel and Finn's in the library reading something, or he's sitting in the library.
He's sulking.
I think he's hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely hiding.
And Rachel's like, how come you haven't talked to me since New York? And he's like, I blew it. I was supposed to be a big leader, and I blew our shot at nationals. She's like, well, why did you kiss me? He's like, I felt like I would have given anything to kiss you one more time. And she's like, so you did. And she's like, was it worth it? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, but I still want to go to New York. And he's like, graduation is a year away. What are you doing in that year? And they kiss.
I was confused. Like, am I supposed to be happy they're back together? Because I wasn't.
I am.
I know
Of course
you are. You're a Finchel shipper a little bit.
You are, like, in the I don't even know what I'm trying
You
to say.
love love. I think that's what it is you love love.
Yes,
I
I
do.
feel that.
So we have one final scene in all of Glee Season 2. Rachel and Finn walk into the last Glee meeting of the year holding hands. And Quinn is all like, come on, guys, like, grab a seat. And everyone's, like, all happy. And Will shows off. their 12th place trophy. Earlier we see Emma and they put up a banner.
He's got his arm around her. Are they dating? What's happening? Did I miss something?
Who knows?
Okay.
We don't know.
You didn't miss anything.
Okay.
Yeah. That says 12th place. Congratulations, New Directions. And then, but yeah, so he shows them their 12th place trophy and they all cheer and it pans away. And that is the end of season 2.
Oh, we did it, guys.
Oh boy.
We made it through 2 seasons of Glee.
Is this an accomplishment?
There are 4 more seasons. Are they whole seasons, like 22 episodes?
All of them except season 6.
Oh, thank God. Okay. This has been a long, arduous journey. I feel like I've been doing this for 7 years.
I feel like this was a great finale to what I'm going to say, and I could be wrong, was the best season of Glee.
I cannot judge this.
I was just going to say, I don't remember
haven't seen them
anything
all.
after this. I remember very little glimpses. But
Season 3 could prove me wrong. I'm going to say that.
right.
But I'm just going to bet right now that I think season 2 is going to be our peak.
How much are you betting?
Not real money.
Damn it.
Alyssa's like, all right, I'm not in on that then. Yeah, I don't think this was a good finale, in contradiction to Cullen. I think the season 1 finale was way better, even though I don't remember liking that much either. I think it was just a bit more succinct and made a bit more sense. This was a bit more nebulous.
I don't remember season 1 finale.
That's when Quinn gave birth.
Oh, right.
There was a
Okay,
bit
I
more
think that
drama and stakes.
Yeah,
What
there
were
were
the
definitely
stakes?
higher stakes.
Like, what are the stakes in this episode?
Nationals. Rachel and Finn's love.
Yeah, but if they don't win, who cares? Like, it's not like the Glee Club is at risk.
Also, if I don't care about their love, who cares?
Exactly.
I feel like our professor.
Yeah, like last season, Glee Club was like at risk. Like, if they didn't win, they were fucked. And like Quinn having her baby was really, really important for her. But there just wasn't really much going on in this episode, which was a bummer. Yeah.
So it is Tina
Tina
time.
time.
Oh my gosh, I actually counted this episode.
Nice.
Tina had 3 lines.
Wow.
I know.
Wasn't
Did
one
you
of
know?
hers, is this a song about a cup?
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
We love Tina. Always bringing quality content to the show.
I'm excited to see what season 3 brings for Tina, because I can't imagine it's going to be much.
I'm excited as well.
So now it is MVPs and LVPs. Hannah, who is your LVP?
My LVP is Finn, because he was really whiny about all this Rachel stuff when, like, she was trying to just do her own thing, and I respect that. Also, he kissed her without, like, her consent, and he's lucky that it worked out. That's all I have to say.
I mean, on stage?
Yeah.
I actually watched that to see if that's what happened, and she goes in.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he kisses her without her consent. I think it was, like, mutual.
I watched for that because I'm like, does he kiss her without her consent? This is Glee. That could happen.
Well, I was going to say, that's how I read it, and it made me super uncomfortable. That was one of the reasons I didn't like it. But I think also the fact that, like, he was so complainy, and that, I think, coded that kiss for me, is that it felt really, like, forceful.
I could see that. I could see his complaining, coloring
Because
that.
I did not pay
scene.
that much attention to the number, and then I looked up, and it was over, and they were kissing, and I was like, what's going on here? But yeah, he was overall really annoying this episode.
Alyssa, who is your LVP?
I think I'm going to go with Jesse, because he shows up in the middle of everything.
The
Like,
last
not
10
even, like,
minutes of the
yes,
episode.
like, he just shows up, and he doesn't even... like show up at the correct time. He's going in front of, that idiot person who shows up in the middle of whatever you're watching and like crosses in front of you.
Yeah.
I hate that person. I hate them.
And they were like in the middle of the aisle, so he crossed in front of a lot of people, probably.
Yeah, and he just sat there, and he was like, and she was like, "Are you here for Glee or for Rachel?" And I was like, "Oh, he's definitely only there for Rachel." Mm-hmm. And then he blames everything on Finn, even though I read the kiss as being mutual.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like, that's it. Then he's gone again. And I'm like, what the hell? Why were you here? So, Jesse is my LVP, if only because he's an idiot that bought a plane ticket to see that performance.
Yeah, who buys a plane ticket? My LVP was the guy that walked in and told Mr. Shu that he had talent.
Valid. That's so valid.
No one had any business saying that.
Interesting. Okay.
Especially after that song.
That song seemed like an actual music video specifically for Matthew Morrison. Except not as interesting.
Exactly. It was super boring. It literally, so like the lore behind that was that the writer, like he wrote the song, they met on Glee, and I think that song was given to Matthew Morrison for his album, and then like basically that single debuted the same week that this episode came out. Like this was basically like, you're right, like his music video, like it was his sort of public debut of the song, I think, from what I read. Yeah, not about it.
Hannah, who is your MVP?
So I actually changed my answer based on your LVP. My MVP was that usher/security guard at Wicked, who literally was like, I don't give a fuck what you do. You have 15 minutes, then get out. I was like, I'm about him. Good for him.
That's my MVP too.
I just
I decided it when I watched the episode.
I think I decided it, but then was like, he's not a real character, right? And then you said that was your LVP. I was like, oh no, then I'm going with him.
No, he's definitely the best character in the entire episode.
Most valuable player.
Yes, he made my day. I was just like, I am here for you, sir.
Yes.
I want to know all of your backstory and every person you see on that stage.
He's the new star of Gleeboot, the Gleeboot.
Yes.
I'm going with a controversial choice. I'm going with Finn.
Wow, controversial.
Because, yeah, he was a little whiny, I would give you that. But he took her out on a nice date, and he was trying to win her over. And I loved their little love story. And, like, that kiss was so dumb and misguided, but it was so Finn and so Rachel to just, like, be so emotional just to do that. And, like, for it to then blow up in their faces, I like that. And I thought he was really sweet, and that he does really care about Rachel. And, yeah, it's been a long time since I found Finn charming. He's been a real douchebag for a lot of this season.
That's so interesting. I thought he was as equally a douchebag, because he did bring Rachel there on the intention of, like, this is, like, quote-unquote professional, and then he, like, revealed his true intention. Yeah.
True.
There's, like, this weird thing is, like, the entire episode they were comparing Finn and Rachel's love story to a rom-com.
Yeah.
And
there's nothing funny about anything that happened this episode.
No, but it does feel like an actual romance, and I feel like Finn fits the...
Right.
If you can squish, like, 90 minutes into 30 minutes, Finn fits the someone give me the word.
Arc.
The
character.
The
stereotypes.
Persona.
Stereotypes.
Yes, all of those words equate to what I'm trying to say of a romance or a rom-com, especially in New York.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he does like the Central Park thing, a nice restaurant. There was Broadway involved. Yeah.
He loses the girl, and then he gets the girl.
Also, we didn't really talk about this, but Rachel abandons him in the middle of New York, which also means that she has to find her own way back to the hotel. So, yeah.
I was having such a hard time with that scene only because I was like, it was definitely not New York. And I was like, okay, so she's going to go around that corner and it's just going to be a set. And I was just having a hard time, like, suspending my disbelief for that scene.
So now it's time for this music. Hannah, what was your least favorite song?
Wait.
Oh, list the songs.
Yes, list the songs because I don't know what they were.
There were a lot. There was My Cup. There was New York, New York / I Love New York. There was, what's it called? Will's song.
Who cares?
Still Got Tonight. There's Sunshine Corazon, As Long As You're Here. There was Yeah by Usher. There was Bella Notte. There was Light Up the World and Pretending.
That is a lot.
The Finchel duet, that was the Pretending one.
Yeah.
That's my least favorite. I didn't get it. I wasn't paying attention. I thought it was really boring. Sorry.
I'm gonna go with Shoes song because it was literally just a music video to promote the song's album, and it was not good.
I feel like, should we cover the Matthew Morrison album and like the Lea Michele album? Like, should we cover their albums eventually?
Maybe.
Can we start with Glee first?
Well, it's Glee content. It's pretty close.
Is it though?
Technically, because this song was in it. I don't know. I'm also saying that being like, also, the other part of me is like, why the fuck would you say that? You're going to punish yourself.
Yeah.
So,
you're not helping
I'm my own
anyone.
worst enemy. It's the drink mixing.
That was my least favorite too, was the Shoe song, Still Got Tonight. It was boring, and it was boring.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it was also pretty boring.
Yeah. Well, I was like, I wouldn't say interested, but I was like, oh, they're doing something interesting with the lighting when he was walking up the aisle, and then that lasted for about 3 seconds, and that was it.
Yeah, that was some really great choreography. He ran down the aisle.
The worst. I was so bored. It was awful.
Yeah.
Hannah, what was your MVP or your most favorite song?
I don't. Okay, so like the rest of them, I kind of like don't even really remember that much. This one stands out to me because I think it's pretty momentous in these characters' lives and arcs thus far. Although I don't think I really care for the duet.
I forgot to list it.
It's For Good.
For Good from Wicked that Kurt and Rachel sang.
Ooh,
Yeah.
right.
I put this because it stands out to me and I didn't hate it. But I don't think I particularly like the cover. I think I would rather just listen to the original. But it was probably my favorite of all of them.
I'm going to go with Yeah by Usher because I was most entertained with
To
that
be
song.
fair, Usher was not in this episode. What was the group that sang it? Was
True,
that
true.
Singers with
I don't
Attitude?
Did they even have a name?
I don't
No.
know.
They didn't have a name. It was just a group of women
That
singing
started.
Yeah by
Let's
Usher.
call them Soundsplosion. Soundsplosion did
Yes,
that.
because I want them to be in the top 10 because they were obviously better.
I think
than
they
anyone
probably
we
got
saw
in the top
perform.
10. Why else would we
Yeah.
see them singing if they weren't also in the top 10?
They definitely were better than Vocal Adrenaline and
Yeah.
New Directions.
Did we talk really about Vocal Adrenaline's number? Like, it was literally just that person singing and them dancing, and it was super boring.
Yeah, it was Sunshine Course. I was waiting for their second song because I thought that Vocal Adrenaline was going to be like the main antagonist of the competition. So
I guess-
obviously they would get 2 songs.
Yeah, I guess
But
technically
no.
they were, but it was super boring.
No, it was not a good performance on their part, especially from what we've already seen from them.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the other choral performance that we saw, which was the no-name choir of women singing "Yeah" by Usher.
Mm-hmm.
I had a hard time with this one. I'm still debating right now. I'm deciding I'm going to go with Light Up the World. Their group number. I have it on my Glee playlist. I should have Pretending, but I don't. But I'm going to might go back and add it. It has lots of energy. I like it. I like songs with a lot of energy. And it's generically inspirational, and I love that.
It applies to various scenarios.
Yeah, exactly. Love that shit. Yeah, that's my favorite song.
All right.
Nice.
So that has been Glee Season 2. Hannah, do you want to talk a bit about what our next episode's going to be?
Yes. Next episode, we are going to be talking about, it's a mini-sode. We're going to be going over the Glee Season 2 ballot that we're making. We will have already sent it out to you guys, so hopefully you'll have like another week by the time you hear this to get your answers in, and we're going to go over some of those answers, our answers, and kind of relive Season 2, especially the part 1 that Allyssa keeps thinking is Season 1. So we'll be able to recap that for her too. But yeah, so we're going to go over some of that. It'll be super fun. Yeah, so we're really excited to hear what you guys think, and we cannot wait.
Yay!
Yay.
So excited!
But you will be able to find that on Instagram at GleebootPod, Twitter at GleebootPod, and also on Tumblr, gleebootpod.tumblr.com.
Yay! You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at yourboyryan99. You can find me on YouTube at YABOI Ryan.
You can find me at a.m.swearingen. That's SWEARINGEN on Instagram. And I also have a YouTube channel, but I don't remember what it is. And it's really old, so I'm not going to tell you.
This is total news to me.
I post a lot of, I posted, I think, some longer animation videos. So, yeah.
Should we plug your Vimeo eventually, where our the video that we starred in for you was?
Wait, what? Oh yes, I totally forgot about that.
Wow, she forgot her Oscar-winning performance, Cullen.
That was on a tarot blog.
Yes, it was on a blog, and someone found it.
That is literally the cutest thing ever. We'll have to shout that out eventually.
My mom stars as well.
That is featured.
Best future guest.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll have to shout that out soon.
Yes. Next time.
Next season.
Unless you're so into it that you want to dig around and find it yourself. But good luck.
Yeah, we'll shout it out. Maybe on that episode when your mom's on, we'll be like, hey, catch her, Cullen, and Hannah, and Allyssa, and some other people.
Yes, I was also in that.
Yeah.
I directed and wrote and starred in it. Well, not starred.
Performed.
Performed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gleeboot.